alongside former Socceroo and legend Paul Ocon. Sorry, we're going to steal Paolo's thunder because Adriano Del Monte, you pretty much stole all the headlines other than Italy winning. It was all about you and your celebrations, which we caught on camera, which we're about to run. Any thoughts?
Well, I enjoyed it. It was a good night. I'm sad that Paolo wasn't there with me. But look, for me, it was the display of the tournament. They are the favourites now to go on and win this competition. There's no doubt about that. They took it right up to the world number one last night. And Paolo, from what we saw now, the reaction here this morning, there's genuine belief now they can go all the way.
Yeah, I think if there wasn't that belief prior to last night's game, I think everyone now is convinced that not only can they get to the final, but they are real contenders to win it. And this undefeated streak continues.
We're seeing some vision now. Some of the celebrations, yeah, it was pretty manic last night. But look, for good reason. This is an Italian team that missed the 2018 World Cup. It is a country, a nation that suffered as bad as anyone when it comes to the COVID crisis, particularly last year. I've said it before, and we'll say it again right now, when Italy face adversity is historically when Italy perform at their absolute best, and that's why I'm not surprised they'll go very close to winning it here in 2021.
Yeah, look, it all started once Mancini took over. They had a point to prove. He had a point to prove. He said it. He's come out publicly and said it, that he failed as an international player, basically, and he wanted to change that for himself as a coach. And all through this qualifying campaign, they've played this vibrant attacking football, and it's resulted in over 30 games undefeated, semi-final, on the verge of once again winning a major trophy. Who would be silly enough to bet against it?
You'd be very silly. 32 unbeaten, the first team ever to win 15 consecutive Euro qualifiers and final tournament matches. They are on fire, but the guys already did mention the sad news of Spinazzola, torn Achilles, could miss anywhere from 6 to 12 months, obviously dependent on his recovery. But what does that mean now for Italy? Look, for me, Spinazzola, super important. He has arguably been the player of the entire tournament, let alone only the player for Italy. But Emerson will come in. He will start, as he did replace him last night. And look, it's Mancini's system that works. So, yes, sad to lose Spinazzola, but I don't think they'll lose too much. Emerson, a quality player.
Yeah, well, look, there's no way you're going to go through and win this tournament without picking up injuries and suspensions. And, of course, it's a massive loss and disappointment. First and foremost for Spinazzola, but also for the team. And Emerson will come in, quality player, as you mentioned. He will have a point to prove. So I think it's more or less a like for life. He's a left-sided player, and I expect Emerson to do well.
So, guys, it is sad news for Spinazzola, but as we said, the optimism is still here. They genuinely believe now they can go all the way. The goal before the competition started was the semis. They've ticked that off. Can they go one better and win the whole thing?
I hope so, boys. And if it was up to me, we would talk about Italy all night long. But you are in Rome, and there is a game happening there tonight. England leave Wembley for the first time, and they take on Ukraine. Do you have a sense, all the Italian fans that will probably be in the stadium, are they picking a side for this one?
Well, it is a strange one because the English fans obviously are not allowed to travel from the UK, and it will be very different, Claude. You mentioned their first time away from Wembley. That will be a factor. We saw Italy struggle when they left Rome for the first time. We obviously saw other nations have issues away from playing in their home venue. In terms of the local fans here, I don't get the feeling they're supporting England. That's from what I've read so far.
No, I don't think so. I think if England can go out now, it'll obviously make it a lot easier for Italy if they can get to the final. But yeah, it's not going to be easy for England. Travelling, the heat, they haven't had to deal with that, although it is a later kick-off here in Rome. And the Ukraine have shown, or I guess this tournament has shown, that underdogs have at the right time performed quite well.
No doubt. I covered Ukraine, one fixture so far in Amsterdam against Netherlands. They fought back from 2-0 down, got themselves back into the match against an inspired Dutch side on that night. They did eventually lose 3-2, but they do have some quality players. They do have some players who know Italy very well. Malinovsky particularly one I'm looking forward to watching, but they did pick up a couple of injuries in that grueling contest against Sweden. There are some doubts over Yarmolenko, so still unsure as to who and how Shevchenko will line up, but you have to give them a chance that at their best they are capable of matching an England side who, well, we know they haven't been free-flowing, high-scoring team thus far.
Yeah, look, I think it's England's to lose, to be honest. Although the Ukraine is a good side. It'd be interesting to see if they maintain the 3-5-2 system that they started with against Sweden. Of course, it was 4-3-3 during the group stages. The Ukraine is a compact side. Expect them to sit back, soak up pressure, and try and hit England on the counter.
With all respect, of course, to Ukraine and Denmark and the Czech Republic in that half of the draw, guys, it really, really does feel like it's now or never for England. If they're ever going to make a Euros final, it just has to be this year.
Yeah, and if it's not, then they can just do the same old, same old. We knew we were going to lose anyway, so we'll see how that one unfolds.